Hey, this is Shiraz, and before we get started, I just want to let you know that when I clear something for someone, when I cause a shift, I tend to yawn and cough from the energetic shift that happens. I don't know why it happens. It's just how my body works. And if you don't know that, you're going to listen to this video and go, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You might still think that, but now there's more of an explanation. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you hear something that you can absolutely relate to, when I cleared for them, you can get it cleared for you too. Just say yes when they're saying yes, and it works. I have people that watch these videos every morning to get stuff cleared. This can be your new morning habit too. Okay, that's enough for that. Let's get on with the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get a great shift out of it. See you soon.
So, a couple things. I'm not sure which I lit up for
Okay,
um,
either am
in
I.
your view. So the one thing that kind of bubbles up most for me is I have noticed, and I've been reading the Millionaire Mindset book,
Yep. Which one?
and so he lays out how you have these money files and beliefs wrapped around that, and so it's brought awareness into, oh my gosh, this pattern that I might be just creating over and over and over. And so I just wanted to kind of work with you a little bit to see if that's a belief that needs to be shifted, or if it's just nothing. So the thing that I noticed is, with the seven figure podcaster program, we have to pay to play for stage two.
Yep.
And so I went ahead and made the big investment to step into that level. And I immediately felt like this right before I was paying that amount.
Mhm.
I got like this dopamine hit, like this excitement, this kind of
Okay.
like you described. If you save all your bills to the very end and then you pay them, it's just like, ah, I did it. Ah.
Okay.
And so I was aware of that. And I realized that, boy, that happens like every time I, make a big investment. And then what happens afterwards is, well, I hope that's not pissing in the wind.
Okay.
And a lot of the big investments that I've made in the past
Yeah.
have been like, just like, oh well. And so I was just I start to like twist my brain into knots thinking, oh my gosh, I'm living for these sob stories, these victim stories, so
Mhm.
that I can do it all again.
Cool.
and and I don't know, am I making this shit up, or is that like real, or what? So I
Okay.
don't want that kind of thing to happen again. And intellectually, I believe in, the whole SFPP thing. I mean, I see it unfold and it's, walking proof right in front of me and da 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 da
Yep.
intellectually. But I do know, just like your story and everybody's stories, we can create regardless.
Okay.
So we can create the downside, right? Versus.
So do you get the fix when you make the investment, or do you get the fix because you put the money together and now you have enough to make that investment?
When I make the investment.
Okay, so when you make these investments, you usually have just the money's there and you can just make the investment. There's no effort there.
Yeah, I mean, I see it as kind of pulling out of a nest egg or taking money from something. I don't see it as like, oh, the coffers are full. What the hell? Why not? I
Okay,
see
that's
it
fine.
as a like a taking, like a
Yep.
scarcity type of an envelope that
Okay.
it's in.
So do you have to do you have to make some sort of sacrifice in order to do an investment?
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like.
Okay. So that's your story. I'm willing to do these sacrifices to make my investment. And
Mm-hmm.
there's sort of like a pride in that, because if you just made the investment, there's no, well, I just got the money. It's not really significant because I have the money.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's this scary kind of like leading up to it. Oh, should I take this leap of faith
Yep.
and kind of like an adrenaline junkie,
Yep, that's what you're
you
doing.
know, I'm going to leap out of the airplane and take my life in my hands. And,
Yeah.
so that's what it kind of feels like.
Yep.
And so I don't really want that to be the thing as much as, oh, well, smooth that emotion out and get excited about the fact that I'm going to have, a 7, 8 figure business. So it's like I put all the energy in that moment versus like the outcome.
Yeah. So are you willing to step out of the story that if you already have the money, it won't feel as good? Like that investment won't feel as good.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's what I'm noticing is the deal. So I'm willing to step out of that story. Yes.
Are you willing to step out of the story that your fix of adrenaline, of oxytocin, comes from sacrifice?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's a big one.
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's like everywhere.
So we're taught that you're you're a good person when you're sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the real meaning of sacrifice is being willing to let go of something of a lower frequency for something of a higher frequency. Right?
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you have to give something that you really, really cherish, like we see in like movies and stuff.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. Like you've got a whole herd of lamb of sheep, and you're like, well, we need one lamb. Are you willing to sacrifice? Well, yeah, it's just the one. That's fine. I can sacrifice. That's how you do sacrifice. When you like trade in your car that's about to break down for a new one, that's sacrificing the old car.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh my God, I have to keep this car. It's like, no, I'm willing to sacrifice that. Let me get something better.
Right.
Right. But as a culture, we've put this importance and this reverence around sacrifice.
Right.
You don't need to be there. And you don't need to sacrifice. If you live in abundance, there's no need for sacrifice. But if your story is, I need to sacrifice, then you have to make sure you're never in abundance, because then that's the only way sacrifice is necessary.
Mm. Oof.
Yeah. So are you willing to step out of the story that you need to sacrifice?
Yes. Yeah, that's huge. That's a complete shift.
Yeah. And keep in mind, we're not just talking about money. You're probably
No, I
sacrificing
know.
time. You might be sacrificing health.
Yeah, no,
Whatever
like
you
I
get.
said, I can see that like in so many different
Yep.
iterations. So, yeah, no, that's huge.
Good. When you don't need sacrifice with this program, you put a bunch of people in your founder circle, they all pay you, and then you just use that money to pay the next thing. There's no sacrifice necessary. It's just the flow of the program.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I knew that intellectually, but I wasn't embodying that. I was still attaching it with the whole scarcity kind of adrenaline or, that
Yeah.
addiction.
So just,
So,
I want you to lock this in though. You were creating sacrifice you were creating scarcity so that you could create sacrifice. You don't need to do that anymore.
yeah. Oh, that's huge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like. And if you had a shift of your own, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Also, check out the description for energetic magic events that you can attend every single month. Be well, be aware, and be magical.